It's the Nintendo 3DS handheld video game console with 3D graphics. Is it a worthy successor to the excellent Nintendo DS, or is it gimmicky nonsense? Let's find out. While you can't tell here because I'm filming in 2D, this slider switch will make the graphics appear 3D right in front of your eyes without requiring glasses. Although it just looks kind of weird in 2D. But you can probably get the idea that these trees are in the foreground, the castle and the stuff out there is in the background. It's a neat effect when used properly and in moderation. More on that in a moment. Here's the 3DS sitting next to the Nintendo DS Lite. They look remarkably similar. In fact, they're both pretty much the same size. They have an upper screen and a touch screen on the bottom, as well as D-pads, buttons, and the 3DS has an analog joystick. They also both have buttons in the front, and that's where you insert the video game cards. If you have a Nintendo DS, you might also notice some other important changes, namely the widescreen viewing aspect ratio of the top screen. The screen itself is far superior in 2D. In fact, it's quite nice. And the volume control has been moved over here to the side. Headphone jack is right in the middle. Power button is there. Select, home, and start buttons are there, among a few other changes. Rubber feet are not included. I put them on for filming. Here's the stylus for the 3DS, which looks nicer and extends, but does exactly the same thing. The styling on the Nintendo 3DS has been improved. It's rounder, softer, more handsome, and it has a 3D camera there. Also on the inside, there's a standard 2D camera there, so you can smile at it while you're playing video games. Clamshell case remains, which I like. That way you can just toss it into your pocket and not worry about it. It's also heavier than the standard Nintendo DS. But aside from that, they're remarkably similar. In fact, I think the best feature is its backwards compatibility. What's that? We're talking about backwards compatibility with the Nintendo 3DS? What about 3D graphics? You know, it's a gimmick and it gets old quickly. The strengths of the 3DS are its high build quality, excellent screen for 2D, and backwards compatibility with the massive eclectic library of affordable games for the Nintendo DS. The Nintendo DS was not known for having excellent graphics. I'll change the color balance here so we can see what it actually looks like. It has a touch screen, which is used in many of the games, but not all of them. Therefore, when you played video games on the DS, you weren't playing them because they were the best looking, most technologically advanced games out there. You were playing them because they were fun, and they're the games that you want to play. It was never a bragging contest about graphics or 3D. Okay, we turned it off, changed color balance, and let's take out the standard old school Nintendo DS game and insert that into the back of the 3DS, which has a much better screen. So every game will be a bit sharper on the 3DS. That's how a standard Nintendo DS game appears on the screen. And you can start it down here using one of the buttons, and it will appear in the standard native 4:3 aspect ratio as originally seen on the Nintendo DS. But the gameplay is exactly the same, it just looks sharper. So the 3DS is a nice choice for those looking to just get a slightly better screen but play their existing Nintendo DS game library. Backwards compatibility is also nice because you can sell your old Nintendo DS, take that money and help pay for the new Nintendo 3DS. So, let's get back to the 3D. It won't make 2D games 3D, so strike that from your mind right away. I'm a huge fan of backwards compatibility, and I applaud Nintendo for doing that. It's a shame that this doesn't work with Game Boy Advance games or original Game Boy games. The 3D part of the Nintendo 3DS may be my least favorite feature after spending quite a bit of time with it. I find it a very capable handheld game console. In fact, it's one of the best. But it's clearly Nintendo's response to gaming on mobile devices like your cell phone, smartphone, PDA, tablet, or whatever. Because as of the launch of this thing, those other devices don't do 3D, but the Nintendo 3DS does, so it's different. Let's face it, the handheld branded game console is completely outdated, but Nintendo is still the leader of the market, and they're going to hold on to that lead as long as possible. They've got exclusive titles like the Super Mario Bros. Series, Pilot Wings, Metroid, and The Legend of Zelda, games you won't get anywhere else except on Nintendo platforms. In case you were wondering, the 3DS games do not work in the standard Nintendo DS because there's a giant piece of plastic preventing you from playing them. Damn it.